What is up, everybody, and welcome to FLW Videos. We are officially post Garchomp Community Day, and wow, I have to go ahead and say it. That was the most fun for a community day that I've had for at least the past year. So kudos to Niantic for that. As far as the wins are concerned, I ended up getting 2.7 million experience, catching 550 Gibble. Unfortunately, no 100% IV though. No 98% IVV either, and my best set of IVs was on a level 1 Gibble, so that's very exciting. But regardless of that, I definitely want you to post your winnings in the comments section below. So of course, with this Garchomp going on and gaining the exclusive move of Earth Power, a lot of people are super interested in Garchomp in general, as well as the ground types, trying to figure out how this Garchomp is going to stack up against the competition. So that's what we're going to be doing in today's episode. Now, as far as the top ground type attackers are concerned, we're going to be taking a look at it from many different perspectives, but we're going to be taking a look at the top budget options, non-legendary options, legendaries, shadow Pokemon, mega Pokemon, and then of course talking about PvP as well. That way you can get value out of this episode regardless of what perspective you come from. But anyways, I hope you do enjoy today's episode. If you do and it is helpful, make sure to smack that like button and subscribe. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. So we're going to start off this video with the top budget options, and Excadrill is actually one of my favorite budget options just in Pokemon Go in general. So of course we're going to add it to this list. It only costs 50 candy to evolve up to an Excadrill since it is just a 2 evolution line family. But as far as its stats are concerned, it has an incredible stamina stat, ranked at 3rd compared to the other ground types. It has a very good attack stat as well. The only thing holding it back is its defense stat, which is ranked very low compared to other ground types. And what's going to end up happening with its defense, regardless of how good its stamina is, this Pokemon is simply going to faint more. And we're going to be showcasing that in an overall raid where I try to get all of these ground types into one kind of picture. So Excadrill is a great budget option. It does perform pretty well. It's just simply going to faint a little bit, and that's just because of that defense stat. But hey, it's a budget option. As far as the second Pokemon is concerned, we could, of course, go ahead and throw Garchomp in here if you were a participant in Community Day, but why not go ahead and feature a different Pokemon? Garchomp is going to come up a little bit later as well. So we've got Rhyperior here. So as far as Rhyperior is concerned, it's 2nd overall compared to other ground types, so its stats are incredible. And then of course, if we take a look at the individual stats, its stamina stat is leading, followed by its attack stat, and then of course its defense stat. They're all incredible as far as the overall stats are concerned, so kudos to Rhyperior. Unfortunately for Rhyperior, it does tend to get used a little bit more from the rock typing because of the Community Day exclusive move Rock Wrecker. But if you are looking for a ground type attacker, just don't forget that Rhyperior has incredible stats and can also perform from the ground typing, and it's just a matter of time before it ends up getting a new move that could propel it up even further. So I'm very excited about that. So anyways, you didn't have to wait very long to see Garchomp on this list. I put it in the top non-legendary category. And of course, as far as Garchomp is concerned, we got that upgrade as far as the charge move is concerned for Earth Power. So it beat itself. Itself was already good. Now it's got Earth Power, so it's even better. And then of course, if you go ahead and take a look at the stats, just so much potential for this Pokemon. Actually tied it 2nd overall with Rhyperior that we discussed earlier. But if you go ahead and take a look at its stats, it has a high attack stat, which is always favorable for the raids. And then of course we got a really good stamina stat and then a very good defense stat as well. So all in all, just looking good as far as those stats are concerned. And then of course we've got Rhyperior here as well. We've already talked about Rhyperior, but I definitely wanted to go ahead and put it in this category. You could probably also put Excadrill in here as well. I'm just kind of a toss-up between both of them. Maybe you go a little bit more Excadrill just because it's going to be less resources, like not having to evolve 2 times in total and not having to have an exclusive or having to have an evolution stone to be able to get up to Rhyperior. But anyways, let's go ahead and talk about the top legendaries. So as far as the top legendaries are concerned, I just couldn't put Groudon on. And the reason why I didn't put Groudon on this list is because Groudon has slowly but surely just been outpaced by other Pokemon. Of course, we're talking about Landorus here. So Landorus ended up coming out with 2 different forms of the Incarnate as well as the Therian, and they've just simply outpaced Groudon. And Groudon hasn't gotten an upgrade as far as the ground typing is concerned. As far as PvP, though, we will be talking about that. It did get an upgrade that makes it impressive from the PvP side, but just generally as a ground type attacker, it's just not handling it very well. But of course, we've got a little bit of future value out of Groudon as well, out of the primal version of it. So who knows, maybe Groudon could end up making a comeback. But for right now, I'm going to have to go with Landorus Therian form and Landorus Incarnate form. You can go ahead and take a look at these Pokemon from this ground typing. We can see that the Therian form has a little bit higher set of stats overall. You can go ahead and check that out. And then as far as the individual stats, we can see that the Therian form is considered the most ideal. It only drops technically in the defense just by a little bit, but not a lot at all though. I would rather have the Therian form by all means. And a second thing to kind of keep in mind with these Pokemon besides the stats is going to be the charge move. So you can check this out here where we've got Earthquake and Earth Power. Earthquake is not the ideal move that you would want to have for a ground type Pokemon. So even though the Therian form has the ideal set of stats, it doesn't have the ideal set of moves. But is it going to still be able to outperform Incarnate form? You might already know the answer to that. So there is a lot of upward potential for this Therian form in the future if it ends up getting a move upgrade. So anyways, let's go ahead and talk about the top shadows. Now this is an absolutely fun Pokemon to take a look at. We've got Mamoswine here. So as far as Mamoswine is concerned, looking pretty good on those stats. It's got great stamina, great attack, unfortunately low on the defense. So yes, it is going to faint quite a bit. And most people tend to use this Shadow Mamoswine as an ice type attacker, but it's actually pretty solid as a ground type attacker too. So shout out to the Shadow Mamoswine, a ton of fun to use. Cannot wait to get myself a pure just ground type attacker for that. And then as far as the second option is concerned, we've got Swampert here. So I'm glad that Swampert was able to make this list. And of course, if we go ahead and take a look at this Pokemon from the ground typing, its stats are like pretty good, but just keep in mind it's a starter Pokemon, so it's not supposed to be the absolute top of the best. It's not a legendary or anything like that. So it's got some solid stats, but as far as its performance is concerned, being a shadow, that really buffs it up quite a bit. And it unfortunately does have Earthquake, so that's kind of holding it back some, but compared to the shadow options, it's an incredible Pokemon. And then of course, we'll be talking about this Swampert on the PvP side a little bit later as well. So anyways, we've got those shadows done. Now let's go ahead and talk about these top megas. Now, as far as the top megas are concerned, we actually don't have any made available in the game yet. So this is going to be a little bit of a future look at this. But of course, if we go ahead and take a look at it, we can see that Mega Garchomp leads as far as the stats are concerned. And then for this Mega Swampert, we can see that it is 5th overall. So it gets a major upgrade compared to its regular form. And then of course, if we go ahead and take a look at these Pokemon, the attack stats are always great, right? You want to get in there, do as much damage as possible, but having a good defense stat, good stamina stat means that the Pokemon's going to be able to last longer and of course boost your fellow trainers in battles. So we are looking at that, and Garchomp pretty much has it all. And then as far as Mega Swampert is concerned, a little bit lower in performance compared to a Pokemon like Garchomp, but I mean, come on, it's Mega Garchomp, so it's very difficult to keep up with that. And then of course they're going to have different typings as well, so it's just something to kind of keep in mind. But I would rather go for the Mega Garchomp. It's going to get out more damage, for example, and then it's also going to be able to stay in the fight longer compared to a Pokemon like Swampert. But the only thing going towards Mega Swampert could be the typing. Maybe you end up going up against a very specific Pokemon. That Mega Swampert's going to end up kind of being showcased a little bit better for staying in the fight. But that's going to be according to the typing and maybe the moveset that you go up against. So let's go ahead and take a look at all these Pokemon. I don't have those Megas in there. They're a little bit of a question mark, but of course, they're going to be propelled up to the top. So you can go ahead and see this. You've got just such an incredible Pokemon here. Garchomp with that Earth Power. So kudos to you for everyone who is able to get out there, get themselves that move Earth Power. You now officially have one of the best ground type attackers in the game. And of course, we've got the Landorus forms here kind of nipping at the tail of Garchomp, but they're legendaries. I mean, come on. Garchomp is just so incredible, so excited that it ended up getting a community day. And of course, you can see Groudon in here, but because it is a legendary Pokemon, in my mind, it's a little bit lower on the list because you have now 2 other legendaries that can outperform it. So it's unfortunate for Groudon. I think Groudon probably got the biggest kind of shaft, if you will, compared to all of these options here. But anyways, that's that. So we can go ahead and take a look at a graphic for this. A lot of people have been interested in this, so I definitely wanted to go ahead and showcase this. I've got all of the performances here as far as my rankings are concerned. I do, at the bottom, already have the top PvP put down on a per league basis, But if you are interested in PvP, what I'm going to do now is actually head over to pvpoke.com, go ahead and get into a little bit more detail. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Great League over at pvpoke.com. Of course, for this Great League, we've got Galarian Stunfisk. So Galarian Stunfisk is just such an incredible Pokemon, followed by another option like a Shadow Swampert. And then, of course, we've got just the regular Swampert. And then a little bit of a shout out for myself. We've got Nidoqueen here, kind of a little bit lower in the rankings, but I've had so much fun with this Pokemon in general. But if you've ever gone up against a Galarian Stunfisk, you're going to know that it is an incredible option, an incredible Pokemon. So I think it deserves to be one of the best Pokemon from the ground typing. And then as far as its moveset is concerned, you can see a Mud Shot, Rock Slide, Earthquake. And then as far as its IVs are concerned, you just want to have low attack stat and then high defense, high stamina with a 0, 12, 15 to be the absolute most ideal for this Pokemon. But shout out to Galarian Stunfisk, such a solid Pokemon for such a long time, and it is doing even better with the meta shift towards those poison types. But anyways, if we go ahead and take a look at the Ultra League, we can see that Galarian Stunfisk ends up being at the top of the list once again. However, it is going to require XL Candy, so I thought, why not? Let's go ahead and feature Swampert as kind of like the top option. So we've got Swampert here, a Pokemon that I think a lot of people are familiar with. As far as Swampert is concerned, for that Ultra League, it gets just used so much. It is an absolutely staple Pokemon in the Ultra League. And then, of course, if you go ahead and take a look at its rank, we've got a 0, 14, 13 here. So once again, low attack, high stamina, high defense here. So good luck to everyone. Hopefully you can get yourself one. It does require a Community Day exclusive move of Hydro Cannon. And then finally, if we go ahead and get into the Master League, we've got Groudon here. So finally, Groudon finding its place in Pokemon Go, finding its relevancy, and that's actually going to be in the Classic Master League. It's also going to do well in just the regular Master League as well. But if we go ahead and take a look at the moves here, you are going to have the move Fire Punch, which is going to require an Elite Charge Team to get access to this. But this Pokemon is so worth it as far as the Master League is concerned. And then, of course, you want to get perfect IVs when you're in the Master League just because there's no cap on CP or anything like that. So yeah, Groudon, so glad you were finally able to make it onto this list some way, somehow. But anyways, I hope you did enjoy this episode. Hopefully you were excited to learn a little bit more about these ground type Pokemon, and this video was helpful to you regardless of if you're a raider, you play PvP, or you do both. But anyways, if you do enjoy this episode, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. And I would love to know what your favorite ground type Pokemon is in the comment section below. Do you think Groudon should be upgraded? Anything and everything. I want to hear all your thoughts. Make sure to put that in the comment section. Anyways, I want to go ahead and give a quick shout out to the Patreon page. If you want to support the channel and join our Discord server, we're connecting to other Pokemon Go players, talking about Pokemon Go, coordinating for raids, and doing so much more. So if you want to support the channel and do that, make sure to check out that link in the description, and I will see you next time.